began with, the tale from the whale began with talking to Merrilee, meeting Merrilee in a cafe. She'd had a history in filmmaking and I'd had a bit of a history in writing and developing the story, and we decided that we would go ahead with the project without really knowing what that meant. But part of that for me was understanding that I didn't understand whales and I didn't understand dolphins. I had no real experience with dolphins and whales. So mostly it started for me by walking on the beach. I started walking on the beach each morning, looking for whales. It was whale season, so I could see whales going past the bay. And after that, I just listened, and I listened and I listened and I listened for months really. And out of that came a series of questions, and there was a really fundamental question, and it's the environmental issue is very big at the time. So the question came up: well, if whale could talk about humanity, what would it say? And if it could comment on humanity, what would it say? Would it be angry? I mean, we're diminishing its environment, we're polluting its environment. How would they respond to the question, if you could talk to humanity, what would you say? So that began for me a very strong journey of just listening to what it felt like. And out of that came some principles, if you like. The first principle was it felt like they would be direct, they would be compassionate, they would be non-judgmental, but they wouldn't hold back. And so that set the tone of the story in terms of moving towards the core premise. What's the premise of this story? And it was the whales have something to say. As we developed that further, it seemed like we moved into, well, their story is bigger than just right now. They've been here for eons. The ancients, as ancient beings, they've been here for eons. So where does their story begin? And in the combination of their story beginning and what would this say, we came out with a premise that says whales have a different consciousness. They've been here for eons, and they, how would you say it? We are not alone on this planet. They have a consciousness that is significantly different, but perhaps greater than ours, or different from ours. And so out of that came the through line for the story, which is, we started with the creation story. In the beginning was the light. In the beginning was whale consciousness, and it's a mythological story. It's a fairy story, and it's a real story, all wrapped in one, as all good stories are. And in that, we came up with the idea of doing it as a poem. I think we started just searching images and putting words to it and trying to put a script to it, and it didn't work. And then I was working away one night and trying to get the first paragraph in first 5 minutes, and obviously wasn't going anywhere, and went to bed, gave up, went to bed. In the middle of the night, woke up with my equivalent of Shakespeare going on in my head.